Okay, good morning and Tashidelek. Today we are going to read one poem. Okay, yes. The name of the poem is The Duck and the Kangaroo, which was written by Edward Lear. Okay, now this poem is from your NCERT Class 9 English textbook, Beehive. Okay, yes. So let us talk about this poem first. So Edward Lear, Edward Lear, he's not just a poet. He was also a artist, illustrator, and an author. He was a British. Okay, yes. So he was also a what should I say, romanticist or naturalist poet. You got it? Okay, yes. So he belonged to the romanticism or naturalism. Okay, yes, period of literature. You got it? Okay, yes. And he was born in 1812 in England, and he died in 1888. So maybe he lived for more than 75 years like this. Okay, yes. Now, Edward Lear, he was very famous and he was renowned for limericks and nonsense words. So what is limerick and what is nonsense words or nonsense poetry? Okay, yes. So limerick is a type of a poem. You must have learned limerick. You must have written some limerick poems in your lower classes also. Okay, so limerick is a 5-line poem which is humorous and which has got a rhyming pattern. Okay, yes. So you just try to find some example of limerick. There will be so many examples of limerick, and you can also start writing limericks. Okay, 5-line poem. Okay, yes. And now the other one, he's also famous for the nonsense verse. Okay, nonsense verse or nonsense poetry. So a group of people, what should I say, the poets or the author, they used to write this nonsense verse. Okay, and he was one of them. Okay, now what is the nonsense verse or nonsense poetry? Nonsense verse or nonsense poetry is a humorous poem, and it has got some strange characters, and there were some new words created, and it also has a rhyming pattern. And Edward Lear has written so many nonsense poetries. Okay, one of this is the poem The Duck and the Kangaroo, and he also written one poem which you have already learned and heard. You remember The Owl and the Pussycat. Okay, now he had also written that. Not only that, there was one book, a book of nonsense poetry. Okay, yes, he has written this. Now, this is a brief introduction about our poet Edward Lear. Okay, so let us read this poem, The Duck and the Kangaroo, which is a nonsense poetry. Okay, yes. The Duck and the Kangaroo by Edward Lear. I'm going to read this. You can also read along with me. Okay. Said the duck to the kangaroo, "Good gracious, how you hop over the fields and the water too, as if you never stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you," said the duck to the kangaroo. Okay, so there is a very sweet conversation between the two animals, the duck and the kangaroo. You see, so this is a nonsense poetry. The characters are animal and these animals are talking. Okay, yes. So the duck said to the kangaroo, what did the duck say? Good gracious. So good gracious means you surprise. You say, oh my God. Okay, he was surprised to see the kangaroo home. Okay, yes, you know the kangaroo home. Okay, yes. So good gracious, how you home over the field and the water too, as if you never would stop. The duck was surprised to see the kangaroo hopping over the field and the water. Okay, it seems the kangaroo would never stop, keep on hopping and going. So the duck was surprised. Okay, yes. And then the duck said that, which we say, his life was very boring. The duck compared his life to that of a kangaroo. The kangaroo used to have lots and lots of excitement. He would go here and there, but the duck life was very boring in the nasty pond. Okay, nasty means dirty. Okay, bad pond. And the duck always wanted, I long means wish to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hope like you. The duck was just, what should I say, saying that he wished he could hope and go out and explore the world just like a kangaroo, you know. So I wish I could hope like you. You means the kangaroo. The kangaroo could go wherever he liked. So the duck was, which is having a very boring life in the nasty pond. Okay, so he wanted to go out. I'm sure many of us have also experienced this. Due to the long lockdown, you must be tired of, what should I say, sitting within the four walls of your own houses. So you wish to go out, okay, and explore the world. So the same thing was happening to the duck, okay. The duck just praised the kangaroo for the wonderful, what should I say, character, wonderful skills of the kangaroo. Okay, yes. Now let us continue. Please give me a ride on your back, said the duck to the kangaroo. I would sit quite still and say nothing but quack the whole of the long day through, and we would go to the Dee and the Jelly Belly, over the land and over the sea. Please take me a ride, oh do, said the duck to the kangaroo. Okay, now after praising the kangaroo, the duck once again said, please give me a ride on your back. Okay, yes, the duck requested the kangaroo to give him a ride on his back because the duck cannot go. Okay, yes, so he requested the kangaroo to give him a ride on his back, said the duck to the kangaroo. And he also gave assurance that the duck would not say anything. The duck would stay still, quiet, and say nothing but quack. So quack is a sound produced by the duck. The duck said the duck would not do anything, only quack. Okay, the whole of the long day through. And we would go to the Dee and the Jelly Belly. And the duck said that they would go to Dee and Jelly Belly. Now these are the name of the places. These are just what should I say, created. There isn't any place called Dee and Jelly Belly. So you see the point, they have got the power to create their own imaginary places and new words like this. So Dee and Jelly Belly, these are imaginary places. So the duck said that they would go to Dee and the Jelly Belly places over the land and over the sea. Okay, so the duck requested the kangaroo to take him on a ride. Okay, yes. So did you understand? Yes, the duck requested the kangaroo to take him on a ride because the duck wanted to go out and explore because the duck was having a very boring life in the pond. Okay, yes. So what do you think? Do you think the kangaroo would listen and give him a ride? Okay, yes. So let us try to read the next stanza. Said the kangaroo to the duck, this requires some little reflection. Perhaps on the whole it might bring me luck. And there seems but one objection, which is, if you will let me speak so bold, your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold, and would probably give me the rheumatiz, said the kangaroo. Okay, yes. So you see, the duck requested the kangaroo to give him a ride. And what did the kangaroo say? The kangaroo said to the duck, this requires some little reflection. So that the kangaroo did not, what should I say, accept, but he said he need little time for some reflection. Reflection means to think over. Okay, he wanted to think. Okay, yes. Perhaps on the whole it might bring me luck. And the kangaroo said that overall it would bring him some good luck, but he must think. Okay, yes. And then after thinking, the kangaroo said, there seemed one objection. There was one objection. Okay, yes. Now, if the duck was ready to listen, then the kangaroo would see what the objection was. Okay, yes. So, what was the objection? Your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold. The kangaroo said that the duck feet are wet and cold. If the duck feet are wet and cold, what would happen? The kangaroo said that it would probably give him the rheumatism. Okay, the rheumatism, the correct spelling of rheumatism is rheumatism, you know, it's a name of a disease, okay, where you get pain on your joints. Okay, so you see the poet has got the power to create their own new spelling. So rheumatize, okay, the poet had created the rheumatize so that he could make a good rhyming word, isn't it? So sometimes we call it poetic license. The poet has got the power to create their own words so that they can make a good rhyming words. You got it? Okay, so the kangaroo said that he had got one objection. The objection was the feet of the duck was wet and cold. So if he did not take proper care, then it would give the kangaroo the rheumatism. The kangaroo would get sick from the rheumatism. He would get some pain in the joints like this. You got it? Okay, yes. So that was the condition. Now let us try to see what the duck said. Okay, at the duck. Okay, as I sat on the rocks, I have thought over that completely, and I bought 4 pairs of worsted socks, which fit my wet feet neatly. And to keep out the cold, I have bought a clock, and every day a cigar I will smoke, all to follow my own dear true love of a kangaroo. Okay, yes. So the duck you see, the duck had already made all the arrangement. What did the duck say? As I sat on the rock, I have thought over that complete. I have thought over that means, you mean the wet feet. Okay, so for that, what did the duck do? The duck had already bought a 4 pair of worsted socks. The duck had already bought the socks which was made of the wool, a type of wool. Worsted means a wool, okay? And that socks would fit the wet feet neatly. You see, the ducks, they have got the wet feet, okay? So he would put on the socks, and not only that, the duck had already bought a clock. So you see, the clock is a long coat you wear, okay? So in order to keep yourself warm, the duck had already bought that. And not only that, the duck said that he would smoke a cigarette every day in order to keep them warm. Okay, yes. So the duck had already made all the preparation beforehand. What were they? The duck had already bought the worsted socks, which would fit the wet feet neatly. In the second one, the duck had already bought a clock, okay, in case if they feel cold. And the third one, the duck would smoke every day to keep himself warm. You got it? So he had done all these things because he loved the kangaroo. He did not want to make the kangaroo feel sick from rheumatism. You got it? So now everything was ready. Now the duck had already, which we see, made lots and lots of preparation, not to, what should you say, make the kangaroo sick. Okay, yes. So let us see what the kangaroo said. The kangaroo, I am ready in the moon, all in the moonlight pale, but to balance me well, dear duck, sit steady, and quite at the end of my tail. So away they went with a hop and a bound, and they hopped the whole world 3 times round. And who so happy, oh who, as the duck and the kangaroo? Okay, yes. Now everything was done. Okay, yes. So the duck had already made the arrangement not to make the kangaroo sick. So finally the kangaroo said, yes, I'm ready. The kangaroo was ready. So they started their journey in the evening when the moon was there and the moon looked pale. Okay, yes. And the kangaroo requested the duck to stay at the end of his tail, okay, and not to move here and there. The kangaroo requested the duck to stay steady, okay, yes. And now they went with a hope and a bound. Okay, they were very happy and they started hopping and they started going everywhere. And you see, they hopped the whole world 3 times. They made the world tour 3 times. Okay, so there wasn't anybody as happy as the duck and the kangaroo. They were very happy. Okay, yes. So you see, their wish came true. So whenever there is some kind of what should I say, some kind of difference, and if there is any new thing that you want to do and explore like this, it is very important for you to have some kind of cooperation and mutual understanding. Now, as long as there is a cooperation and mutual understanding, and everything is possible. You got it? So the duck was able to hope and make a round of the world 3 times with the help of the kangaroo. Okay, they were able to make this a very successful journey. Okay, yes. So that's a friendship. That's a understanding. That's a cooperation. You got it? So I'm sure you have, which we say, understood the poem. This poem is very simple, and this is a nonsense poem. Okay, you see, they are, which we say, a new words created, and the characters were animals. Okay, just like the Lewis Carroll, you know, Alice in Wonderland. Okay, they are animal characters, so many things. So these are some type of nonsense poetry or nonsense literature. You got it? Okay, now let us study the literary devices we have in this poem. Okay, so the first stanza. Now, what are the literary devices used by the Edward Lear? Okay, yes, here we have got the rhyming words, we have got the rhyming pattern, and we have the alliteration, and we have the repetition. Okay, yes. So for the first stanza, I'm going to do all the, what should I say, pick out all the literary devices, and I want you to do the same which exercise for the remaining stanzas. You got it? Okay, yes. So first let us see the rhyming pattern, because the rhyming words are there. So let us try to see the rhyming pattern. Kangaroo. So A, where is the other rhyming word of kangaroo? We have got to, and we have got you, we have got kangaroo, the last one. So A, okay. And the next one is hope. We have got stop. Okay, these are rhyming word. And then we have pond. We have beyond. Okay, see. So the rhyming pattern is A, B, A, B, C, C, A, A. So this is the rhyming pattern. You know the rhyming words. Now this is the rhyming pattern. Okay, now the second literary device that we have here is the alliteration. You know, alliteration is the same beginning sound, the consonant sound, which is repeated in one line. Okay, yes. So if you look at the second line, good gracious. Okay, so the G sound, the G sound is repeated. And likewise, how you hope. Now, H sound is repeated. You got it? Now, these are alliteration. You got it? Okay, yes. Now, the third one is repetition. You know, repetition. There are different types of repetition. Sometimes the whole stanza is repeated. Sometimes some lines are repeated. Sometimes a word is repeated. Now, here, you see, set the duck to the kangaroo. This line has been repeated. Okay, in the first, which is the beginning of this stanza, we have set the duck to the kangaroo, and the last sentence of the stanza, set the duck to the. So this is a repetition. You got it? So this is the first stanza. Now let us look at the second stanza. Now in the second stanza, you will also find these literary devices. First one is you have to we have the rhyming words, and you have to find the rhyming pattern. What is the rhyming pattern? You know how to find the rhyming pattern. And there is an alliteration. You try to find the alliteration. And the third one is repetition. Now these are just 3 literary devices at the moment. Okay, yes. So I want you to do this exercise. Stanza second. Stanza third again. Okay, yes. As far as the rhyming pattern is concerned, I've already done this. What is the rhyming pattern? The rhyming pattern is A, B, C, C, D, D. So in the first stanza, we have got A, B, A, B, C, C, A, A. Now, in the third stanza, the rhyming pattern is a little different. Okay, it is A, B, A, B, C, C, D, D. You got it? So you just try to find the alliteration here. Alliteration is the same beginning sound, the same consonant sound repeated in a line. Okay, and there will be a repetition here. So I want you to find these two, alliteration and repetition. Okay, yes. Now the next stanza again, I want you to find the rhyming pattern and the alliteration. Okay, I want you to do this as an exercise. I've already underlined the rhyming words. Okay, now you have to try to find the pattern or rhyming sequence. And this one also, okay, this is which we see the last stanza. You have to find out the rhyming pattern, and you have to also find out the alliteration, which is the same beginning sound, consonant sound. Okay, yes. Now with this we have come to the end of our, which we see, the poem, The Duck and the Kangaroo. Okay, which was written by Edward Lear, and I've already introduced you to Edward Lear, and you can also read some of the poems written by Edward Lear. Okay, yes, and also you just try to find the meaning of limerick, and you can also write few limerick poems. Did you understand? Okay, yes. And if you get more time, you can also translate at least one or two stanzas into Tibetan as an exercise. Okay, yes. So I want you to go through this poem again and you recite. So with this, I'm going to stop here and I see you in the next lesson. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.